Welcome back to the show. I am Kachi Ophir. So it's always a busy day for the big screen and the small screen, and at Arise 360, we love giving you a helping hand with keeping track. So here is our closer look at film and television. Now, HBO has given a serious order to a half-hour sketch comedy show starring and executive produced by Issa. So created, written and starring Robin Thede, a Black Lady sketch show will be breaking new ground in sketch comedy TV. It will feature narrative sketches performed by a core cast of Black women as well as celebrity guests. Now, the show will also be the first written and directed by an array of Black women. A premiere date for the show has not yet been announced, but you see, we have a long list of stuff we're waiting for, so fans are still patiently waiting for this one. And as the 50th anniversary of the first moon landing approaches later this year, moviegoers have been blessed with an abundance of related riches. So last year, Damien Chazelle's First Man told a story of the first man to set foot on the moon, and now a new documentary is recreating the tale in a new light. Featured at this year's Sundance Film Festival, Apollo 11 is an inspiring 19-minute recreation of the historic mission, and it's constructed out of footage shot during the monumental event. And now it's time for you to take a look at that trailer.
I'd like to know what you feel as far as the responsibilities of representing mankind on this trip.
That's relatively difficult to answer. It's a job that we collectively said that was possible and we could do, and of course the nation itself is backing us, so we just sincerely hope that we measure up to that.
The whole Apollo program was designed to get 2 Americans to the lunar surface and back again to Earth safely. The enormity of this event is something that only history will be able to judge.
Apollo 11 has very simply been given the mission of carrying men to the moon, landing them there, and bringing them safely back.
You can feel it in here when it's on.
Okay, all flight controllers, go to
Go,
I don't know. Go. GNC, go. Econ, go. Surgeon, go. Captain Onward, go for landing.
Here, go for landing, over. Roger, that's it, go for landing. 30 feet, 2.5 down.
30 seconds.
4 forward, just to the right, no. 20 feet, 2.5. Forward, just to the right.
And Rosario Dawson has been cast to join the original cast members Emma Stone, Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, and Abigail Breslin in Zombieland 2. So, original Zombieland director Ruben Fleischer will return to helm the following work on Venom. Now, the film begins production this week and will hit cinemas on October 11th. The 10th anniversary of the release of the original film. Now, this original film grossed $102.4 million worldwide, and it just had a $23 million budget.
Zombie Kill of the Week? Close, but no cigar. Zombie Kill of the Week went to Miss Cynthia Knickerbocker.
Gotta enjoy the little things.
Well, Fighting with My Family is an upcoming biographical sports film based on the 2012 documentary The Wrestlers Fighting with My Family. So it stars Florence Pugh, Game of Thrones actress Lena Headey, and Dwayne Johnson. And it had its premiere at the Sundance, Film Festival a few days ago. So hey, how about we take a look at that trailer?
I'm watching that. Give me the remote. No, give it off.
Zach, what the bloody hell do you think you're doing? You really want to choke her out in a lot of fingers?
Yeah.
Now pull it tight. Oh, yeah, now she's in trouble.
A
Oh, wait, I know you. You're from that weird family, aren't you?
We're not weird.
We don't like wrestling.
How do you know if you've never been?
I've never had rectal bleeding before, but I'm pretty sure I'm not a fan of that.
How about I shove her head up and then we can find out? Hello?
My name is Hutch Morgan. I'm calling from WWE. We'd like both of you to come try out for us.
It's all fake anyway, isn't it?
Wait, what?
Sorry about that.
It's The Rock! We're huge fans.
Thank you so much.
What advice would you give us? We want to be the next you.
What are your names again?
My name.
It doesn't matter what your names are. You walk around here interrupting the Rock, you like you haven't seen the sun in 20 years. You like you just stepped out of Oliver Twist. Please, sir, may I have some more advice, sir? You want some advice? Here's the Rock's advice. Shut your mouth.
Thanks, Dwayne.
Got it. Good morning, wrestling nerds. Well, this is where we see whether or not you get to go on to WWE.
This is our shot, Zach.
I know.
Why do you want to wrestle?
I'm the toughest in any room. Probably shouldn't swear, not when there's ladies present. Sorry, miss. Sorry about that.
If I call your name, that means you'll be coming with me to Florida. Paige. Thank you all very much.
You have to take my brother. No one deserves this more than Zach.
I wish you the best, son, but this is the end of the line for you.
Do you know what it's like to want one thing in life, and then your own sister takes it away from you?
It was my dream, too.
I have no idea who I'm supposed to be out there.
You're not just doing this for you. You're doing it for the family.
Paige, I myself have come from a wrestling family, too. I know exactly what it means to you. But don't worry about being the next me. Be the first you.
What?
It's Dwayne Johnson. How are you?
Prove it.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Yeah, and I'm Vin Diesel, mate.
Now, this is an amazing film, but you see, when the film Sorry to Bother You was released late last year, there was considerable Oscars buzz around it, let's be honest. But you see, that buzz has since fizzled out, although has also received numerous nominations elsewhere. Now, see, we have to take a look at the film that critics say is one of 2018's best.
I never had a cast that was so eclectic.
Yeah, Keith was great. He brings a sort of subtle power to his character.
What's in the bag there? Oakland High, moot court champion. I'm a salesman at heart.
I guess you're all wondering why I've called this meeting.
Army's great. He's a serious actor who is very dedicated to the craft.
Cash, you are awesome.
Tessa's work ethic, just an energy.
There is an elegance about Tessa Thompson that is very infectious.
Tonight, we will have a transformative experience.
Steven's like so sexy and such a leading man.
We want to be able to go see our doctor when we think we might have contracted any one of those crazy STDs that you never heard of.
I met Jermaine on this, and the funniest person on set.
You don't get to decide what's black and what's white.
That's how black folks do it, man.
No, I'm black.
You kind of black. You Lionel Richie black.
Hey, young blood.
Danny came on, and all of us were like, wow.
He's a legend.
Let me give you a tip. You want to make some money here? Use your white voice.
My white voice?
I'm never talking about Will Smith's wife, like this young blood.
Hey, Mr. Kramer. This is Langston from Regal View.
Finding my white voice. Well, you know, it was a difficult process. You know, I have a very, very, you know, street urban accent.
If you could put a Brooks Brothers jacket and a pair of Dockers on a voice, well, that's what we got.
How much white is too white for this voice? I would say if you're pronouncing the letter H in the word white, you've gone too white.
White voice at all times. Here, I almost forgot.
A lot of people were adamant that I not do this.
They were anxious for me to fail.
The guy from The Hollywood Reporter.
Sean Hannity.
The guy from The Telegraph.
Bokeem Woodbine.
Your young daughter who was just born.
Every shift manager at every Bennigan's I've ever either eaten in or worked in. This was definitely one of the harder things I've done. This, and then also when I played the lead role in Veronica Mars.
Practicing repeatedly every day, I would set the alarm, 6:15, and I would do a classic, we're gonna be late for soccer.
We're going to be late for soccer. We're going to be late for soccer. Yeah, that's kind of, yeah, I got it.
Patton Oswalt did the we're going to be late for.
That bit from you.
It's a 3-hour time difference. I'm in New York. He's in LA. He's probably still masturbating.
A lot of people talk about a cultural appropriation. I had to culturally disappropriate.
They've already given me a number of awards that aren't necessarily associated with this kind of thing. I've gotten a Peabody, a Booker Award, Caldecott, you know, which is an award for illustrating children's books.
Come time for the White Voice Oscars, I think a lot of people are going to be eating some crow.
So you see, Melissa McCarthy stars as a writer trying to revitalize her failing writing career in this film, Can You Ever Forgive Me? She has earned numerous awards nominations, including an Oscar nod for Best Actress. So take a look at the behind-the-scenes action from that film, Can You Ever Forgive Me?
Nobody is going to pay for the writer Lee Israel right now.
Tell me what to do then, Marjorie.
My suggestion to you is you go out there and you find another way to make a living.
Initially reading the script, I didn't know Lee Israel beforehand. And Lee was a complicated woman, and I think getting to play a really challenging character like that is what you hope for. I'm embellishing literary letters by prominent writers.
I love his writing.
Particularly clever, don't you think?
Caustic wit.
You were month's rent.
Melissa and I connected early on of this idea of a woman who part of why she gets away with her crimes is because nobody's really looking at her. She's a little invisible in the world, a woman of a certain age who looks a certain way that people aren't paying attention to her.
These are wonderful.
I thought so too.
Name your price.
Melissa playing Lee, which I think is a really nuanced performance. The work that she's been doing has been remarkable.
By the time all the pieces, the hair and clothing, each layer kind of helps me get there. And all I know is when I head to the set each day, I walk differently. And that's when I know whatever that is, we've gotten right. I want people to go and see this movie and see her for everything she was.
Just these. I don't want the others.
Come on, man. I schlepped these all the way here.
There's people waiting.
You know, you don't have to be so disrespectful. You've actually carried my books here.
And you are?
Lee Israel.
Oh, we have copies of your latest work right over there.
You're a rude little ape. There's a grit to this movie. There's the shiny, pretty, and then there's the New York I actually really love, and there's just more of a soul to it.
It's a world of books and papers and libraries and bookshops and dive bars.
I have figured out a way to pay my bills. I'm embellishing literary letters by prominent writers.
I love his writing.
Particularly clever, don't you think?
Caustic wit.
So many of the bookstores that existed back in 1991 aren't there anymore. You know, they've fallen victim to internet purchasing and all the rest of it. And so it was a bit of a challenge trying to nail down the few that are left. The East Village bookstore, which had a little more of an underground punk rock vibe, Argosy and Armada, where they were much more higher end. So we try to paint a picture of Lee's world through the different bookstores that she frequented.
The places have this history that's just dripping from the walls. Some of them are hole-in-the-wall little bookstores that feel like they're gonna fall down, but they're so amazing. We're hopefully paying homage to these beautiful bookstores that used to be so much more frequent all over New York City, and a lot of them are the real places that Lee sold letters.
This is quite something. These are wonderful.
I thought so too. The nerve she had going in and the pride she had coming out.
Name your price.
You were looking at 1 month's rent. Wow.
It's a literary New York that the excesses of the 1980s forgot.
You really, really, truly feel what New York used to be and what it was to Lee. And I think that's a huge character in the movie. I'll have you know, I'm a better Dorothy Parker than Dorothy Parker.
I'll drink to that. Cheers.
So before we say goodbye, we'll leave you with the final video. So with the 2019 Sundance Film Festival ongoing, buzz is beginning to emerge about some of the must-see movies on the way in the coming months. And one of them is this horror film, Hole in the Ground. Now, if you know our Rise 360, you know we love horror. And the trailer is a little scary, so you may want to look away if you're not a horror fan. Well, here is your first look at Hole in the Ground.
who lived in the woods.
You know, when I was your age, I moved town once too. 3,
2,
1.
down by the river.
Chris, wait! Chris!
Mum?
Never run off me like that again, okay?
There with me, loud knocks come a knocking on the door.
There's something not right with him lately. I can't put my finger on it, but
Down by the
I know. It's not your boy.
She didn't mean him any harm, you know. She was convinced
Of what?
that he was an imposter.
I know I sound crazy, but if it was yours, you would know.
What's wrong with you, Mummy? Where are you?
It's not your boy. Not your boy. Not your boy. 3. Not your boy. Not your boy. 2. Not your boy. What have you done with him? 1.
I love you, Mummy.
Now that is definitely a must-watch. Well, thank you. And that is all from us here in Lagos. Now, in case you're wondering, you can catch Arise 360 every single weekday at 4 p.m. right here on the Arise News channel. So, my darlings, until next time, I am Kachi Apia, and this has been Arise 360. Goodbye.